What is up, you guys? What's goody? What's how's it going? It's your boy Red, back with another playthrough of Kirby's Dreamland. Also known as Hoshi no Kirby in Japan, which translates to Kirby of the Stars. This was a Game Boy game made in 1992, developed by good old people at HAL Laboratory, licensed by Nintendo. The lead designer of this game was none other than Masahiro Sakurai, which we all know for having, a huge, basically like pioneering like the Super Smash Brothers series, as well as Kirby. This was before Smash Brothers. And I'm gonna say just this right now, for a Game Boy game, this looks really good. It looks really good. So basically you play as, this little ball character, like this little puffy, they call him Kirby. Being on the GBA, not the GBA, being on a regular Game Boy, this is a good design because they have so many. Even it was very like limiting technically wise with the Game Boy. Like, this is an 8-bit console, but for the power that the Game Boy has, I think they made a good looking game out of it because it has like good backgrounds. The animations are good. It even has like particle effects, like when you hit enemies. Like, look at the little stars. Like, it's a real cute game. Can't cap. So if y'all, of course, I'm pretty sure everyone knows Kirby usually has like a copy ability when he sucks enemies and spits them out. But for the first game, he couldn't do that. You only could like suck them and like shoot them out. And then there were like some power-ups. There are some power-ups here and there, but you can't take enemies' powers yet. Even though there are enemies, that we do end up taking the powers for in the later games. They are in this game. And this is our first boss, Wispy Woods. And right here, you just take the apples. Take the apples and you just hit them. It's rather easy. This game is actually rather easy for the most part. Like, it's some sections that kind of like can piss you off a little bit if you just but for the most part, it's actually like a real chill game, and you can beat it in like no time. Like, I think this playthrough was only like 30 minutes or less. And now we're on stage 2, which is called Castle Lololo. And then here's our like first power up, which is like this microphone, which does return in later games. All the power ups in this game do return back in some form or fashion. Those funky sprites. Yeah, the Game Boy graphics, they just had to be a little bit more simplistic, just like ever slightly more simplistic than like regular NES games. But they look just about as good, at least like one like this one. But this came out in what, 1992? The OG Game Boy had been out. The OG Game Boy, I think, was out for like a while, and even when like the Game Boy Color came out, it was still It was still like an 8-bit system. Even though I think the Game Boy Color does have maybe like a little bit more power. It got to have more power because it has color. But yeah, here's the fireball power up. I mean, it's always kind of sad when they're over with because they don't really last that long. And especially when you play like future Kirby games, it just feels like you're just stripped down from what you're usually able to do. And here is the boss. Now this is Lololo and Lala. I think that's their name. Or maybe La La La. And basically all you have to do is you just grab the blocks and then you have to like maneuver your way around the stage and like hit them. See, like right here, I'm just like having an epic fail. And if you try to go down, be careful to not like let's say for instance you suck the block up and you want to go down the platform. Be careful not to press too many times down or Kirby will swallow the block. But this is relatively easy once you just like understand like the motion and like the pattern. Yes. And this animation, this winning animation is a thing that's gonna stick with the series for a long time. And now we're on stage 3, which is Float Islands, yeah. And then we got some more enemies. And there are like instances where they have like bombs and stuff for you to throw. Like right there. To be honest, you really don't have to fight any of the enemies, to be honest, other than like the bosses. You can go straight past everybody. Something else that I noticed that in this game, I forget, not every Kirby game has this feature, but some of them do, some of them don't. But in this game, when you jump on top of enemies, I think you don't hurt them, you take damage. One thing about Kirby though that I've always thought was just like was like here about, so it was like the enemies. They're also like, I don't know, weird. Like those spinning like tiki heads. And then there'd be like the I forget the names of them, but they're like the orange monsters. But it's like they look super cute at first. But if you like try to suck them up, they'll turn into like these ugly monsters. And then this water, I guess they couldn't like, to show the effect of maybe it's water, they had to like put all these stars in it. Graphical limitations. I do think the particle effect is like really cool though. I remember watching a video that Masahiro Sakurai did on like particle effects. And he showed this game as like an example. He makes like actually a lot of good YouTube videos. He just talks about like making games, but he talks about more things than just like the technical side of stuff. Like he talks about like practical things, like art related things, stuff like that. Like he has he definitely has a lot to say. And taking the whoop star. Like I'm gonna be honest, it isn't a lot of like OG Game Boy games that just like look like this or like animate as well as this. Like this does look really good for this system. For the time period and for the system, this does look good. Like you definitely have to appreciate this. And here is the boss, which is Blimp. This one is pretty easy. All you do is just spam the fireball. And that was stage 3. And here we go to our last regular stage 4, which is the bubbly clouds. And I guess this is our way up to like our final stage. I guess now we're like in the clouds. See, the enemies are right here. They're so cute at first until you like suck on them. Then they turn into like these like these little demons. But if you blow air on them, they'll explode. And then these enemies kind of remind me of Thwomps, the way they look. And the umbrella was also introduced in this game, but Kirby couldn't carry it. I feel like everything that they wanted Kirby to do, they probably had like planned out. They just probably couldn't develop it in time. Cause it just seems like the copyability could be a thing in this game. It feels like, yeah, cause they have like the power-ups and stuff. I don't know if that was just, or maybe the copyability wasn't thought of yet. If y'all know, let me know. But I feel like the game will also go like 2 times faster if you did have the copy abilities, which is foreshadowing something for a future video. But yeah. So my one gripe maybe about this game is it's a little like, it's very chill and very relaxing, but I just feel like some of this, like the stages themselves, like the level design, it's not just elaborate for real. It feels, I'm not gonna cap, it can feel a little boring. Like it gets stale a little bit. Like I wouldn't say this game has a lot of replay value, to be honest, which is okay. Ouch. And here we have this boss. This is the I think they just call him the Eye or something. He's just like an eye. I don't even know his real name. But he shoots these balls, and then he has the balls spinning around him. You can dodge him by just standing in the corner of the screen too. And he shoots out the Waddle Dees that shoot out the lasers. And now we're going to space. And I think this part of the game looks really cool. I like the black background and then the white. This is supposed to represent the clouds still. And then this section reminds me that Kirby also doesn't have like his slide kick, which is also not in this game yet. But yeah, y'all see like this, like a very like basic blocky platforming. Like Kirby definitely improved on that regard. The further the series goes. Some games more than others. But like I said, for the Game Boy, I think this is a solid entry though. You just pick up and play. I'm not sure if this game actually had Game Boy Color support. I'm pretty sure it probably did. But how I'm playing the game now is just the black and white. Or like green, I guess you could say. Oh my. And this boss is actually slightly more challenging than the last couple ones. I say this one and the final boss are like the actual challenges. Even though this one still isn't like super hard or anything, it's just slightly annoying because you can't really control the pace of the fight, and he can like shoot that shoot whatever he's shooting, electricity. He could shoot that electricity out like whenever he wants to, as well as he cannot pull out the enemy for you to suck up and hit him if he doesn't feel like it. I don't know if it's random or like what. Yeah, cause I had to edit out a take cause he was taking like forever to spit out the Waddle Dee for me to hit him with. So yeah, but no matter how hard it get, we gonna get through it. And now we on our final stage, Mount DDD, which, just like Mega Man X, this is going to be a boss rush. And yes, we get King DDD's theme song in the first Kirby game. And this part of the game, I kind of like this concept slightly more than like the Sigma Tower, because you get like a chunk of the stage that the boss is in, and then that's how you get to him, versus like the Sigma Tower where you're just like going through different rooms, which is essentially the same thing. It's just cool to actually be back in the levels. And the bosses, I guess they're like slightly harder, but this one isn't really. This one's pretty much kind of the same, honestly. See, like that was easy. And now we're on our way to fight Wispy Woods again. Yeah, I'm kind of doing these out of order. I'm just going to the doors the first door I just see. And I don't really understand the meaning behind the copy Kirby. But when you hit them, well, when you run into them, you know, all the enemies go away. And this one isn't really, this boss fight really isn't different neither. This one was like super easy. If I'm not mistaken, this game was designed for younger gamers though, so they could actually like have a game that they could beat. Cause like I'm not gonna lie, like when you're like a very young kid, stuff like Mario and Sonic, that can be kind of, those games can be a little intimidating sometimes, maybe. Like when you first play them. But Kirby, I feel like my mama could play this game or something. Like this game is not hard, like whatsoever. And to be honest, I feel like this boss fight is relatively the same too. Honestly, the only one this like kind of more difficult I felt like was the eye. But it's like I feel like the blimp is probably firing. He's attacking a little more aggressive. But it's just like you just spam the fireball. So yeah, it's just like has no chance. And ouch, I'm just taking all those hits. Very reckless. Yeah. Now I think this guy he is actually slightly harder now this time around. Pretty much he's attacking ever so slightly more aggressively. But it's still necessarily the same boss fight. Certain amount of space. That's what I'm saying. Like it seems like the full game wasn't really realized, but it still feels like it feels at the time when it came out, it probably felt complete, but now that time has passed and like different Kirby games came out, and it just feels incomplete now. Still a fantastic game though. And this is King DDD. And this boss fight is okay. It's challenging. It's kind of, so the thing is, DDD, he can come hit you with the hammer, but it's like timing to try to get the stars to hit him when he hits you with the hammer is like really tight. Because by the time you dodge them, the stars then disappeared. But when he does his up B from Smash Brothers, it's real easy to get the stars. You basically just suck. You can't anticipate where he gonna land. You suck the star up and then you just press B quickly to instantly like suck it back out, and then like boom. And then he has like a hit stun animation. And yeah, well, I'm gonna go ahead and like cut ahead of some because it be feeling like they go on for too long after a minute. When I went back and like watched, when I went back and started recording, I was like, oh my god, this is like taking a good chunk. But yeah, that is it. That's the game actually. So yeah, this game only takes one part because it's so short. You can beat it in less than 30 minutes. Even though I did cut out some parts. And this is cute. All the food falls. And then Kirby blows up and takes the castle. And here's director, chief designer, Masahiro Sakurai. And then you got the chief programmer. And then you got a programmer, Sunday Rain. And some more people that I don't know. Yep. But I know y'all for making this game. I just don't know their faces other than Sakurai. And special thanks to Bubby and Cypher and the supervisor. Shout out to them. Yeah. So many players. Oh, well, thank you. HAL Laboratory. Shout out to them. Licensed to Nintendo. So they thanks for playing. Okay, well, we thank y'all for making the game, and I thank you for watching. So this was Kirby's Dreamland, also known as Hoshi no Kirby, for the Game Boy. And this has been a good time. So I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Ciao.